Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be showing you my Kerby Rosanes journey from Mythomorphia to my most recent one, Alien Worlds. Now I don't have any of the Phantomorphia, I don't have Dark Fairy Tales, I do have Mythic World and Worlds Within Worlds, but I haven't got those, so there's not really any point showing you. So yeah, these are the ones I have. So I'm going to start from the start and you're going to see my journey. So I'm going to put these aside. I'm going to start with Anamorphia. I remember when this book came out 10 years ago, it took me so long to decide to buy it. The thing that kept bringing me back was the tiger, because I'm such a big tiger lover, and I really love buying colouring books that have tigers in them, so that's why I bought it in the end. So yeah, so this is introduction page. All throughout this book I used just standard Faber-Castell colouring pencils, not the polychromos ones, but just like standard ones that you can get from the bookstores kind of thing, and that come in those red packets. So that's all I used throughout this one. So yeah, I didn't have any concept of colour theory or colour palettes kind of thing, so you're going to see that. This is the more of the introduction page. As you can see, I went very natural, blue sky kind of thing. I did the best I could. I hate colouring flowers, by the way, or plants or anything. I'm not very confident, and I find it really annoying, to be honest. But yeah, I'm so jealous because everyone is able to do their name so fancy, but for me, I've never been able to do that kind of thing. So yeah, it's more of the introduction pages. It's not too bad considering my lack of colour theory knowledge. Yeah, this is the first page that I did. Well, not that I did, but it's in this book. It's quite nice. I like the blue. The dark blue goes really well. Yeah, I think it did overall quite nice. You'll see I used just flat colour. I didn't do much shading, if any. I didn't do that for a while, to be honest. And I just coloured the weird characters pink. I know a lot of people had an issue with those funny characters, but I thought they were right. It was difficult to know what to colour them. I think I just went with pink throughout. This is, I'm sure this is one I intended to colour, so I just coloured him for the sake of it. I didn't really like these pages where you it says draw more creatures kind of thing. I wasn't really into that, which is funny because I'm an artist, but I'm not really a doodle type of artist, so that wasn't really my thing. There's another page. That was quite nice. Yeah. What else do we have here? There we go. I quite like this page. I remember enjoying it while I was colouring it. I quite like the various animals. I quite like these two pages as well. So you can see I didn't really, I kind of kept to same kind of colour palette with trying to make it all little one. Same with this. Oh yeah, I quite enjoyed the little find it things. Again, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it actually. I always found it really satisfying to find them and write them down and fill them out at the back. This one, now this is the only one that's done with different colour pencils. They were Stapler, they were a Stapler brand, but they were like really good quality, and they're a triangle, and I wish I remembered their name, because I would love to buy them again. As you can see, the colour is a lot more vibrant as opposed to the Faber-Castell. The Faber-Castell was pretty good, but these were kind of my thing. I quite like using mediums that are quite vibrant and bright and colourful. I used a reference with this one, so someone had done something similar, so I followed suit. It was the first time I'd ever tried something different. There's so many blank pages in this, by the way. I have not finished this book and probably won't. Wow, all those are blank apparently. Are you sure? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I stand corrected. There's a couple in here. Yeah, there's the bear. So yeah, this is the first one where I decided to bring in more colours. So with those previous ones, I often went with, very few colours, trying to keep it all kind of similar. But this one, I decided to try something different. I was seeing how other people did it online, and so I was like, I want to try something different. I want to add some more colours, make it more creative. So I quite like this one. It's very busy. And then the other one I have in here is the tiger, of course. This is the first one I ever did in this whole book, of course, being a tiger lover. I remember getting like really confused on how to colour this, because I was seeing, saw how other people did it, and I saw some people did all kinds of colours. Some people stuck with like a limited colour palette. I think I just decided to go with a limited colour palette and decided to kind of fade it out in the back here. Yeah, I really wanted this one to look good because it's a tiger. Yeah, turned out all right in the end. I quite like the green eye. Yeah, that's it from this book. On to Magimorphia. I really enjoyed this book. This was a real step up from his first one, and there are a lot more pages that I wanted to colour. So this time I was using those Stapler triangle pencils I was talking about before. I loved using them so much that I kind of just stuck with that throughout this whole book. I wasn't really one to venture outside of mediums. It really won't be until we look at geomorphia later on, and you'll see I'll start to use different mediums apart from pencil. I was so inclined to use pencils throughout the whole book, and it was often only one brand as well. I would, as you saw in Anamorphia, I just stuck mostly with the Faber-Castell, and with this one I stuck all throughout with the Stapler pencils, and it was those pencils only for the whole book kind of thing. And I'd actually got annoyed with myself trying a different medium in the Anamorphia I don't know why, but yeah. I did also use Faber-Castell metallic pencils. I miss those pencils so much. I threw them out ages ago because they're getting old. I'd had them for like over 10 years. And to this day I cannot find better or as good as metallic pencils as those were. I'm so annoyed. But yeah, I still have no knowledge of like colour palettes at this point. I was just going with whatever, but it's still quite nice. I like the penguin in this one. Yeah, so this is the first page. So I really liked the idea of doing 2 different swans, so that's what I went with, and yeah, I really like it. It's a continuation of the Find It, which again I still found very fun to do, even though a lot of people didn't. This page was really annoying, so when I was colouring this page the book was still new, and so this kind of was still kind of stuck there, and then one day I was able to break it, and now it's got that crease there, and this is all kind of terribly coloured in. It's like I was trying to get in there, had a lot of difficulty, so but yeah, I always found that really annoying with colouring books, to break the spine in. But yeah, I quite like that he tried to go with like similar objects rather than random things. It was quite cool. This one's alright. I remember not being happy with it at the time because I was like, oh, it's too much blue, the train doesn't look right, but I think it's pretty cool. This one I really liked. I really loved the dragon and the tiger, obviously, and the colour palette that I used for this was also quite nice, so it was very cool. This one, decided to do the sea in a darker blue. It was alright. It's all quite nice. You can still see I'm using flat colour. I'm not really introducing any shading or anything. I just stuck with flat colour, but it still looks nice. I did kind of use a bit of shading there, but most of the time it was just flat colour. There's the penguin page. It's quite nice. What is that page? Just seeing what else I've done in here. Yep, the balloon page. It's quite nice. I like using that colour combination of blue, purple and pink. One of my favourites. I don't like, still not a fan of that. But yeah, there's another nice page. Yeah, the tree. I remember doing this tree and I was really kind of not as happy with it. I think by this point I'd kind of used the similar colour palette. Like I kept introducing this light blue, and so I decided for this one I wasn't going to add it, and I wasn't such a fan when I finished it. I was just like, oh. But it's alright. I quite like it. I probably would have done it differently. Maybe add some brighter colours. It's quite a dim colour palette that I used. I quite like this one. I really like doing the 2 variations like I did with the swans. Makes it a lot more interesting. So purple with pink and pink with purple. Quite liked it. I could have done something different with that, but I just kept it the same. Don't worry, there's more. It's the dinosaur. I remember there's a colorist on YouTube that I really like. I remember she did this picture twice, and with one of them she did the volcano erupting and it's kind of splattering, and it had like a black background. I really liked hers. I saw other people had done this and kind of like as if it was showing the bone, so I decided it kind of made sense to do that too. I like this one as well. It's one of my favourites. I like colouring volcanoes. There's the carriage. You can see that light blue just carries throughout the whole book. It's just, I just used blue for the clouds. It was just saying, eh. This is the first one I did in this book and I really like it. I was really careful to colour it. It was really cool. We also have, again, so many blank pages. Sometimes I wish I'd like finish these books. Maybe one day I will, I'm not sure. Another page, again, blue. I'm probably annoyed with it by now, going, Grace, are you using the same flipping colour palette throughout the whole thing? Well, sorry guys, I didn't have a very big colour palette knowledge, like I said. It was, yeah, I always find I ended up recycling the same colours over and over again. These days I don't do it, thank God. Kind of branched out a lot more, but yeah, with my limited knowledge it was always the same colours, and I always got annoyed with that myself. It was just like, oh, do I really have to use the same colours over and over again? There must be more colours I can use, or a different combination, but yeah. There's another one, unfinished. But this one is nice. I really liked colouring my guitars and stuff. I'm not such a big person colouring things like this, but I quite enjoyed it in this book. Yeah, and I think the last one is this one that I did, and I really like it. I just started adding shading in this one. Started getting a bit more confident. So yeah, and then there's, yeah, you know, I found this part really satisfying, by the way. So it's Magimorphia and on to Mythomorphia. This book is great, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. This is one of his best books. I love this one more than the Mythic Worlds. I found the Mythic Worlds had a lot of like gods and demons and I don't know, I'm not really into colouring that kind of thing. I did like the dragons, but overall this one is better. This time I was using Derwent Coloursoft pencils, which is quite high quality, very expensive. Yeah, again, I use that throughout the whole thing, so I could never figure out how to colour this. It used to drive me nuts. I'd see other people do it and I'd be like so confused. I was like, where do I start? What do I colour? I'm so confused. But yeah, so those the blank. And this as well, because like I said, I'm very bad at colouring. I don't like colouring leaves and plants and flowers and oh, missed a page. Yeah, this is this page and looks pretty cool. I remember it took me ages to figure out how to colour it, but yeah. I'm adding a bit more shading. Got a bit more confident in that, so I can see my colouring starting to develop a bit more, getting a bit more confident. I've still kept the backgrounds blank. These days I wouldn't, but back then I just kind of kept it blank. I I've never been very confident at like drawing or colouring backgrounds. It's never been my forte, so something I struggle with. I'm getting better, by the way. This one's nice. So as you can see, I'm starting to vary the colours in the clouds. I'm not just doing the same thing over and over. These rocks, I hated colouring them. Like this is a nice picture. I don't think it turned out as exciting as I hoped it would, but it's still nice. I do like the deer in the Mythic Worlds. That one looks way cooler. I love how people are turning it into that thing from Harry Potter. What's its name? A lot of people are going to kill me now because they're like, oh Grace, you don't remember its name. But yeah, I like that. We also have, yes, I also have the dragon. This is probably my favourite page in the book. I love colouring in dragons. Yeah, it's quite nice. I had a drawing dragons book, I still have to this day, and so one of the dragons had this colour palette, so I went with that. It's a very busy page. And then we have this. This is definitely outside my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, found it quite satisfying. I like colouring in water. Oh yeah, we also have this one. I remember this took me a while to colour. I wasn't sure how to colour it, but got there in the end. That's a whip. I tried. Just this is the only one that I have a background. There was so much space taken up that it was like, oh, it's not really that hard. I quite like this. This is another one of my favourites. Yeah, colour palette's really nice. I also like the fox, the tails, it's beautiful. Let's have this one. I really like this picture, but I feel like I stuffed it up because I made this too colourful, I guess. But yeah. What are you gonna do, eh? It's always that one page. Well, this one took me ages as well. I went away from this book and came back to it, and this page was kind of left hanging. So, but yeah, I ended up finishing it in the end. So it's pretty cool. Quite like werewolves. This page was really cool. These two pages, I like the water and the fire contrast between the two. I really like colouring in fire as well. That's one colour palette I was very confident in and knew that it worked, is the reds, the yellows and the oranges. I was really confident in that, so that was quite a common go-to palette. I quite like the dark red in this. Oh yeah, this one. I'm going to use a reference for this to help me colour it. It's quite nice. Oh yeah, this is the first one I did. Oh yeah, so this is my cat's paw prints. So my this is like the first page I coloured, and my cat comes across and it's just been outside, so he's got his dirty paw prints. It's a good memory, that. Yeah, I'm not such a fan of this palette or this picture. Maybe more could be done. I don't know. Yeah, you can see like it was different. I tried something different. Did I try something different? Yeah, I did. What else is there? Yep. There's this one. I think this is the last page I coloured in this book, and I haven't gone back to it since. So yeah. We also have, there's a couple more in here. My friend did this. The Cerberus. This was my one of my favourite pages. I really like Cerberus, one of my favourite mythical creatures. I like colouring in the lava and the fire and stuff. It's pretty cool. And we have these. This one was quite hard to figure out like what was hair and what was water, but it doesn't really matter. I guess I managed to find a way, and it's really nice. And that's really cool as well. And then there's this page as well. So yeah, that's it for this book. And then I bought Geomorphia, and I was really excited for this book, but when it came out I was so disappointed. I'm not such a fan of like the single sides, and I really only coloured like 1.5 pages in this. I want to do it again. Anyways, so this is the first page I coloured, and lo and behold, it's not pencil. What's going on? I decided to try gouache paint for this, and I really love it. It's quite cool. I don't know what made me do that in the end, but yeah. And the other page is this one. As you can see, it's not finished. I did try with the volcano, but I stuffed up here and there, and I stopped and didn't get back to it. So yeah, that's it in that one. And now we have Fragile Worlds. This one, so when I got this one in 2021, I was really inspired by other colorists on YouTube, and I was able to kind of break out of my just colouring pencil shell, and decided to try different mediums in this, which was really cool. So there you go. So this introduction page, which I did with Inktense pencil. I did use that a lot in this page, on this book, sorry. I really, it was the first time was it the first time? No, it wasn't. Never mind. Yeah, I really liked the Inktense pencils. Again, the vibrancy, bright colours. This is the first page, Snow Leopard. I'm pretty sure I did a watercolour base and then Inktense on top. It turned out pretty cool. And then I used whiteout, like Twink, for the snow. These days I would use Posca marker, but back then I didn't know what Posca was, and so Twink it was. So yeah, I remember feeling really meh about this page after, but coming back to it, I do really like the blue tint. It's quite nice. Probably could have done a bit better on the sky, but that's okay. And there's these 2 pages. I actually did these 2 pages when I had my broken hand. Well, long story short, I punched a wall and broke this really badly, by the way, and so I was stuck in a cast. And my creativity was like bursting at the seams, and just wanted to do my creative stuff, do some painting, do some drawing, and but I couldn't draw because it's too painful. But I started painting a lot, and so kind of jumped into this book and did these 2. I really like these 2 together, so I'm just gonna see if I can move the camera a little bit. It didn't really work, but yeah, I really like these 2 combined together. It's quite nice. I did both in watercolour. I think I did that with gouache, and then I did a watercolour background. I can't quite remember. Anyways, but I definitely did this with watercolour. It's really nice. I started this page and didn't finish it. I was going to do like a stormy background. I thought that would be like really cool and really different, but didn't get around to it. I also did this. I really like this page. Yeah, I did green for the water. It's like a reflection of the forest. I think I stuck with the watercolour base again and went on top with Inktense. That'll be quite common throughout this book. I really started loving doing the watercolour base and then Inktense on top. I really enjoyed that combination. Kind of obsessed with it. So yeah, this is quite nice. These 2 I did both in Inktense. Which is quite nice. This one, again, one of those ones I started and didn't end up finishing. I did want to do like a full red palette or something different, but I kind of confused myself and didn't know how to do it, so I just left it. These were meant to be pictures that I wanted to do, but didn't end up doing. I really enjoy this page, so I decided to do it colour and then fading into black and white. So it's kind of like a whole kind of them disappearing kind of thing, and I really liked it. So what I did was I did this part first, and I took a photo, and then I edited it and made it monochromatic, and so I copied that onto this. I think I used ink, or maybe just watercolour, but yeah, I really like it. It's a contrast from the bright to the dark. It's really cool. I also did these again, watercolour, Inktense, so, and Inktense again, so, yeah. Yeah, I really like this. This one's different. So I did, oh that's right, so I did the birds and Prismacolor pencils, and then with the background I did it in pastel. So so I followed a tutorial on YouTube on how to make it look like a forest, but kind of blurry, and so I followed a tutorial and did that. I've always been really hesitant on using soft pastel in my colouring books. Obviously for, you know, you don't want it to smudge, but I found a fixative that would spray it and make it not smudge, so I really like it. It was something different. So yeah. This one I decided to make it look like an oil spill. And here we have like the coral kind of dead and fading, and then at the bottom it's kind of bright, and yeah, I thought that was really cool. I did this with ink, I'm pretty sure, and then added tons and tons of water. Now this one I had to do twice. So I did do this one with whilst my hand was broken. And when I finished it, I was really unhappy with it. It did not look that great. And so I decided to go over it again. Watercolour. I don't think I used gouache. I'm not sure. I tried to do the fish in a different colour. I tried like yellow, but it didn't look right. So I just kept them in kind of dark tone. I was a bit nervous they would blend in with the shark, but it's alright. This book, by the way, this page here has taken so much water. But this book is like so resilient. I mean, it does get a little bit wrinkly, and you know, you kind of did get a little bit floppy, but it was really good. Really good with the amount of water I threw at this page. So this one I did with all gouache paint, and I really suck at blending. The funny thing I learnt with this book, with gouache at least, is that when you paint on the other side, say this page, and you throw tons of water at it, this page will reactivate the gouache, and it ends up sticking. And so I learned it the hard way in this book. So these days I'm smarter, I put a paper towel on top just to prevent that, but back then I didn't know. I was quite surprised because I didn't know gouache did that. So yeah. With this one I did polychromos pencils. I was going to do Prismacolor on the other side, but again I didn't finish it. I'm not such a fan of the polychromos pencils. I feel like their quality isn't as good as the Prismacolors. They turned out alright on this page, but I wouldn't use them again. A lot of people really like them, but I'm not. I'm a Prismacolor. This one I did again with watercolour. I was meant to do a gouache background, sky, but I accidentally used watercolour. And I should have known that because I did notice the paint was reacting funny. And obviously I didn't realise until later on. So that was a bit annoying. I think somewhere around here, for some reason, like I think the page stuck or something, and I ended up ruining it, so I had to do it again. So yeah, that was really annoying. These are both done in gouache paint. I really love this page. I was a bit nervous. Ama leopards are one of my favourite animals now, so and I really like this colour, the background. And yeah, I really like how this one turned out. And I like how this one turned out as well. Did this one with my broken hand as well. So, yeah. I remember when I was painting this page, you know, like I said before, the gouache reactivated and these two pages stuck together, which is a bit annoying. Luckily the damage wasn't too bad. I was able to fix it. Yeah. I feel like I'm missing part of his tail there, but I don't know. This one I tried watercolour background or watercolour on top, and then I went over it with Derwent Colour Soft. And it looks pretty nice, I reckon. Again, watercolour, ink tints on top with a bit of twink for the bubbles. I really like this one. I just did ink tints with this one. I used a really weird, my mum had this like paint, and I used it, but it's really like it's got a weird texture to it. So I just have this on the top to protect it from smudging. Again, watercolour, ink tints on top. I followed a tutorial for this one. I really loved how the person did it, so I copied them. Not fully, kind of made it my own, but yeah, I really love it. It just made it just made these dogs just stand out. I think I have one more page in this, yes. Now this one I decided to do quite differently. I found this like an overall really boring page. So what I did, decided to try rainbow. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And again, watercolour, ink tints on top, and it turned out quite nice. Quite a quick one to do. It's not my favourite page, so yeah. But yeah, I quite like this book. There are some pages I think he could have done differently, but overall it's quite a nice book. And finally, we have Alien Worlds. So I actually have 2 copies of this, and you'll see why. So I'll just go from where I started. I haven't done the Sky World or the natural kind of world yet. I'm getting there. So I painted this with gouache, I'm pretty sure. This time I was starting to get a clearer sense of colour palettes. I remember getting this book and thinking, how on earth do I colour this, man? Like, these are aliens, man. I don't know how to colour aliens, but I kind of sat back and thought about it for ages and figured, like, if I just stick to the find, for say the water world, find a water kind of palette, then that gave me a lot more confidence on how to colour these. So yeah, that was quite hard to colour. I kind of went over the top of it, and then I kind of had to wing it with the rocks. and that as well. I didn't realise they were crystals until I read the back. So just added some white. This page I did in gouache as well. This took me ages to figure out how to colour it. I kind of knew how to colour the whale alien, but for everything else I was like, what do I colour it? Like, what's a good combination? And I figured out pink went really nice. Took me ages to figure out how to colour the ship as well. I was going to do like a blue ship, but I found that would clash with a lot of the worlds in this book, especially the water world. So I decided to just do white and with a touch of blue. That way I can like reflect the other worlds onto the ship. So yeah, I was very happy when I finally finished this page. It's like, oh, at last, because it really did take me a while. This I did watercolour base, Inktense on top. I'm just trying to figure out, I think I used a bit of Posca for the white. It's quite cool. This one is not my favourite. Yeah, I really struggled with this one. It just did not stand out for ages. It wasn't that interesting. And I really struggled to figure out how to make it look good. And I finally added the white, and that's what made it stand out. Made it quite nice, but overall it's not my favourite page, so yeah. I did both these pages in Inktense and it turned out quite nicely. So with a colour palette, I really love the ocean, like the blue. It's beautiful. Yeah, I quite like this colour. I started this page. I have not finished it. I kind of stuffed it up a little bit there. Also done this page. Oops. The rock world. Yeah, for some reason I had like a yellow background in mine, so I thought I'd do that. I use gouache, well, for this one. I haven't done any other pages and it's blank. But I've done this one, the fiery world. I did this in gouache. Yeah, I had an incident later on. But yeah, so yeah, I really like this. It's really nice. This page took me flipping ages. I especially like this part. I was so confused on like how to colour in the lava. Yeah, I was just like, what? How do I colour this? I figured it out in the end, but it did take me a while to figure out the colour palette and stuff. Yeah, it turned out quite nicely. So satisfied when it finished. Now this one I did in Stapler, what are they called? Stapler Pigment Arts pens. It was the first time I'd ever tried, sorry guys, I keep shaking the camera. It was the first time I'd ever tried pens for a Kerby Rosanes book. But it turned out amazingly. This was the last page I coloured. It took me a while to figure out how to colour it. I stuffed up the background a little bit. I was meant to use a lighter pink, but that's fine. It's quite nice. I love these pens. They just blend so effortlessly. And the vibrancy is really, really nice. So, yeah. And this one I did with the gouache. Took me ages doing all this detail. That's really nice. This one I did with pen again, the Statler Pigment Arts. I really like it. And this one, I love this one so much. So I did this in gouache again. And I decided to try like a purple background, which was really different to the colour palette. And I used my favourite colour, ultramarine. It says at the back that this alien is like rare and only comes out during the meteor showers, so I wanted to do like a really special kind of colour, so I chose my favourite colour. I really love how this turned out in the fire. Oh, gorgeous. This part though, I had to go over it, and this part reminds me of a pizza. Makes me think of pizza. It's quite funny. Can't remember how I did this page. I think I used gouache. I went over the top of it with glitter pens. Yeah, you can kind of see there it shines. I'm not one to usually use glitter pens, but I was quite excited to use them for this one. And it turned out quite nice. And then we have the ice world. Yeah, so what happened here, I accidentally spilt water on this book one day, and to my shock and horror, this page reactivated and stuck together. I was trying to save all the other pages and forgot about this one, so ended up getting damaged. So you can see there's like a hole there, and you can see this is quite damaged as well. I had to glue this back on. It was all like ripped and stuff. I was quite devastated because this page overall was really beautiful. I did the contrast between like a night and a day. Now if I turn the page, you can see it's, yeah, I'm thinking of using Posca to go over the top. Hopefully that works. So yeah, it's still a nice page. This one, now this was my first time ever using Posca marker, and for some reason I looked at this double page and I was like, yeah, I'm going to use Posca marker for the whole thing. So this was my first ever try using Posca marker, and I did it for a double page. So I also used a Hoo acrylic marker for the creatures. It was quite cool. Yeah, it turned out really nice. I really love this. I was worried about the pink, but that turned out quite nice. Took me ages though. I used Prismacolors for this one, and then I decided to go over the top of these clouds with glitter paint. You can kind of see like a shimmer there. It's quite nice. And then with this one, I used ink tints and Posca marker. Quite like it. This one I use Prismacolors again with a bit of Posca marker for the snow. Quite nice. And this one I used soft pastel and then pastel pencil on the top for the details, and then I chose Posca marker for these. This is probably another one of my least favourite pages. I think it turned out alright. Like once I sprayed it, the colours got a bit darker and it turned out a bit better. So yeah, these used to be yellow, but then a friend suggested making them orange, and so that made it look a bit nicer. Just 2 more pages here. We have this one as well. I think this was the first page I ever coloured in this, but no, it's the second. I quite like it. And last we have this. Yes, so I was in a rut when I was doing this. Like, it was like trying to force this page, and I really messed up. And so I bought a another Alien Worlds, which is right here, and I'm hoping to it's this page. I'm hoping to colour in this and then cut it out and glue it on. So, but yeah, that was a real mess. And I haven't gone back to this book since, I kind of took a break, but I love this book and I really want to go back to it. I would love to finish this one. As you saw, I haven't finished any of Kerby Rosanes' books, but this one is the one I definitely want to finish. There's not really a page in there that I don't want to colour. There's definitely pages in there that I'm scared to colour, like that's a bit intimidating for me. And so I was like, this page, but I'm like, I still really want to colour it. I just got to plan out how. So yeah, that was my Kerby Rosanes journey. And so yeah, I have some other colouring books that I could show, but yeah, you can see how, like, from where I started to where I am now, definitely getting a lot more confident with my colouring palettes and using different mediums that I wouldn't usually go to. So yeah, I feel like this has really helped me with my art drawing. It's made me stronger as an artist and stuff. So yeah, I know it's been a long video, guys, but thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.